Yeah. Tell me what got going on that dirt. Yeah.
Yo, if I were podcasting, it would be insane. Knowledge flowing like the sweetest rain. Professor Bear on the mic, spreading wisdom wide. The best thoughts, that's my pride, can't hide.
With the voices in your ear, changing the game.
If I rule podcasting, every thought we'd ignite. In a world of chatter, we'll spark in the fight. With Professor Bear, we're climbing to new heights. A Bear's Thoughts podcast, shining bright in the night. Topics from the heart, never sounding the same. Got laughs and debates, never dull or bland. From culture to tech, take you by the hand. Join the ride with us, feel the vibe expand. With every episode, we shine that beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul.
Tune in, don't miss what we got to share. If I rule podcasting, I spread the love everywhere.
Welcome, and thank you for joining me this evening. I am Professor Burr, and this is A Burr's Thought. Guys, girls, it's a great Monday. I'm all about wrestling like we all are, but I have another great, tremendous guest. My guest, and to be just real, y'all know I try to keep it real when I do these shows. And I had a scheduling conflict where I had planned on having this guest earlier. And y'all know about the family emergencies that I had and being sick and everything. Well, I had another guest and he had a conflict, so we had to reschedule him. I reached out to him, and it was real short notice, but he was like, man, that's what I do. I'm all about jumping and going and getting everywhere. So I want to thank him for this last minute thing, and I've been wanting to talk to him anyway. My guest, All Go Nelli. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. And people do say it like that. It's All Go Nelli too.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. First off, I just want to shout out the music in those intros. You have to send me the link to all of them afterwards. I was dancing the whole time.
Man, and it's funny because I had a whole different thing. And then in January and February, I did some appreciation. I did appreciation months for other podcasters and promotions. So I wanted to change it up, give it a different feel. I did that one just, I think, 10 minutes. I came up with that. And everybody like, man, you need to keep that. Man, I was just dancing. You need to keep it. I'm like, okay, I like my other intro, but if I'm getting this type of feel from it, I got to keep it. So I appreciate that.
If you want to talk about music real quick, you want to talk about entrance music?
Yes.
I think I've changed my entrance the most in wrestling history. I'm being so serious. Like I thought I heard this one song, and then people were laughing at me for it. So what happened? I changed it to another song afterwards. Then I changed gimmicks for a little bit, so I changed it to a third time. And then a fourth time, I was like, I'm just gonna be more me. So I did a song that expressed more of who I was.
Right.
And I sent the one song to someone. They said, we need something a little bit harder. So I'm like, oh man, like that hurt. That really hurt. So I finally gave them this one song that I always wanted to come out to. and then I bit the bullet. Like 6 songs later, I bit the bullet, and I was like, I'm just gonna get a custom theme, and everybody loves it. Everybody loves it so much, and like people be dancing to it and stuff. But then I didn't like that custom theme, so I got another custom theme. But I'm actually not using the second custom theme right now.
But now, and with you saying that, it's hard because you I think we're so original and we have so much going on that at one time you hear something it's like, okay, yeah, that's me. I like that. That's my vibe. Next time you're like, it's just not hitting the way I thought it would hit. You are, and we go through a lot of different changes. So I'm like, okay, let me try to stick with one, but then I hear something to make something like, I think that's it. I think that's it.
I think I think the cool thing with the indies too is like you can come out to whatever you want. So you can come out to your favorite song, you can come out to like one of your favorite artists and stuff. I think that's the cool thing of it because once you're on TV, they give you that custom theme, and you're never gonna get that opportunity again. So it's like, why not now? And especially when you got, I watch MMA sometimes, I watch UFC, so it gives you that mixed feeling almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like music is like definitely big in this industry. I didn't mean to like change the whole conversation. I
No.
thought it'd be interesting. You said you wanted to have fun. I thought that'd be a really funny conversation, to have at first.
Oh no, I love it. And like you said, music plays such a part in wrestling. So I that is so unique to bring up and talk about.
It's
And I have to
actually
admit too, this is the you're probably the third time since I've been doing this that I didn't get my original question out that I always ask people, which is cool because you bring such a different vibe to the show, and I love it.
I
But the
appreciate that.
question, I'm sorry, the question I always ask my guests is, how did you become a wrestling fan?
Man, so I went to an international school when I was younger, and all my friends were like from Europe, so but it was in America, so a lot of people didn't really watch like football and basketball at the time, so that wasn't really the talk of the playground. But I mean, WWE was universal, so everybody loved that. I remember hearing them talk about it one day, and then God's luck, I'm scrolling through the TV, and there's SmackDown in 2006. Vito was there, Finley, MVP, Batista, Undertaker, Kane, you name it. And that's really how I became a wrestling fan. It was just something I finally like got something else to talk about because really back then it was just TV shows and video games. Now I had like a sports aspect to my identity.
So with that, how did you go from just being a wrestling fan to getting into the industry?
Um, well, I guess it starts when I was young. I started off with wrestling in middle school, did it all the way through college, because I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I graduated during the COVID year of college, so
Mm.
everyone's brain was just kind of like, what do I do next? What do I do next? So I actually, I kind of sidetracked it from the wrestling bit for a little bit and entered the fitness industry. And then changes happen, and I had like a I had my own pilgrimage. I went to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia by myself. I did night one, night two. I did the Monday Night Raw afterwards, and I had to drive from Philly back to Connecticut for work in the morning. So yeah, um, and I just had so much fun by myself. Like I want, like think of a time when like think of a time when you had fun by yourself. It's kind of hard to like think about that because all your favorite memories are with your friends or your family or with someone, but to have fun by yourself, I really feel like I found myself too. So that's when I started to take up wrestling, and I joined Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. Paul Roma, Mario Mancini, they've been so great to me, you know, over this past 2 years. It's been awesome.
That's cool. So with and on the topic of doing WrestleMania by yourself, I tend to end up going to a lot of indie shows by myself.
Hmm.
And if I don't go by myself, my wife goes. But most of the times I'm by myself. And do you feel like, and then when I get there, it's like I've surrounded myself with some of my best friends because I talk to so many people, finding out how much they love wrestling, particular people. I never feel alone when I'm there.
I feel like, how can I put this, man? Like, what's something else you love besides wrestling?
Of college football.
College football. All right, cool. So let's say you bump into someone, you say, "Do you watch any sports?" You say college football. Oh yeah, Alabama, they're so good. Like they can, but that's all they know. No, like SEC, like, oh yeah, like, oh, I had a friend that went to Clemson, but they didn't play football. They're saying like, I just know Clemson was good at football. But when you meet someone who knows college football, knows the history of college football, knows like the coaches and all that, it's so much more fun because you can get into more depth topics. You can get to topics you never ever had. So that's what it is with wrestling. You can get into topics, have like you never ever had and stuff like that. Like now that my friends know that I wrestle, they're like, "Do you do the move where you're like on the ropes, blah blah blah, and stuff like that?" But then you meet someone, like, "Hey, like I love that you do this and that and stuff like it's different now."
Yeah. And that is so true. And I like the fact of when you when you find other wrestling fans, it's like, man, we've been friends forever, and you just met them. It's that almost immediate bond of the wrestling, even if you're not on the same wavelength. Like a lot of my friends, we're big indie people. We know the indie business. We're blessed to talk, meet people and things like that. But then you run into the ones that are just the hardcore mainstreamists. They know so much about that part of it. It's good. So you just have a lot of different ways you can look at the sport that you love that maybe you didn't think about before. If that all that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So with with your training and everything, how long did you train before you first stepped into the ring to have your first match?
5 months.
In 5 months, did you feel like when you got that opportunity, you were ready, or did you feel like well, let me rephrase it. How did you feel when you took that first step in there?
Nervous, definitely. Nervous was the first time going out there, first time people are gonna see you, and stuff like that. But truth be told, you're never ready for your first match. You're really never ready for your first match, no matter how much you train and all that. Like you can feel like you're ready, but you're not. Like it's just a match is just different from training.
What was your first match? Was it singles?
My first match was a singles match against Killa J. She's from Paradise Alley as well. She's made her rounds too around the tri-state area and all that stuff. But that's where she came from.
Okay. Um, I know a lot of wrestlers that I talked to. Their first in ring, and they don't call it their first match, but they did battle royals so they could kind of get used to being in the ring with other people and stuff. Do you think going in your first match versus doing a battle royal was good for you?
Um, yeah, yeah. I feel battle royals are more chaotic. And I think it's hard when there's a battle royal and you see like 20 people in the ring. It's hard to pin eyes on certain people. when you like, you don't stand out, especially if you're new. You're just some person in the ring. But if it's one on one, there's only two people in the ref, so it's easier to distinguish who you are and stuff like that. So if you're battle royal, you blend in more. Like singles, you stand out more.
Okay. So since you've been doing this, what has been your biggest moment so far in the ring?
Dang, I got to wrestle the House of Glory champion Charles Mason. I think that might be, yeah, I think that might be it.
With that, how many different companies have you wrestled for so far?
That is a great question. I have not counted, but I can tell you I've wrestled in over 10 states. I believe it's 12. Um, Covered all of New England except for Vermont, tri-state area, Jersey, New York, PA. Done that. Where else I go? I went to Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, West Virginia, Delaware. Uh, yeah, those are the states I've gone to.
Have you have you enjoyed branching out, going to these different places and learning different audiences?
You will not you will not get better if you don't branch out, and it's easy like it's easy to feel big when you're a shark in a pond. Like my friend put it best. Uh, you're big into independent wrestling. Dustin Flash Waller,
Yes, heard of them.
big person. He's wrestled in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Fans love him. Fans know him. 1 hour south in Mount Holly, not many people knew who he was, and not in a bad way. I
Right.
mean, Flash is incredible. He's gone everywhere, you know. But it's just like again, like you have to branch out to build your name to get those reps in. You never know when it's going to be a promotion's last day. You never know where life's going to take you. Because as much as like wrestling is life, we're adults. Like I told you, I just came from work from this.
Yeah.
So I could be on this podcast, so I can fund my wrestling career. And you have to think about what's right for you with wrestling and this. So getting your name out there so you can wrestle in all these places. You never know who you're gonna bump into. It's crazy. I drove me and my friend. We drove 5 hours to Maine, and he got to be in a tag match. Can you see who it was? I'll give you. Should I give you some guesses,
Sure.
or you want me to say it? I'll give you three guesses because we'll be sitting here forever. Um, wrestled wrestled in the '80s, has American spirit.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
No, and he was a manager to someone in the 2000s.
Oh shit. Wow. Okay. I I don't know.
Tony Tony Atlas.
Holy shit.
Imagine that. We didn't know that was gonna happen. We showed up and they said, "Hey, he's wrestling Tony Atlas tonight." I was jealous. I was jealous. I have a picture of Tony Atlas, and that's all I have. Great conversation. One of the nicest people I met. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you never know where this business is going to take you. You never know what your big moment is going to be. If I got to wrestle Tony Atlas that night, that probably would have been my biggest moment.
It is. That's why they tell you always keep your gear on you.
Always have that gear ready.
Yes, sir. Funny that you bring up Tony Atlas for two different reasons. One,
Oh, here we go.
no, but no, these are I think are great. One, he just won his another championship, and he's 70.
Mm-hmm.
Man, is that not crazy?
He won that title in Jersey, right?
Yes,
Yep, I've wrestled for them one time. Yeah, Tommy Fierro's a great guy.
it was amazing. And the second thing about Tony, I've gotten to speak with him and interact with Tony. Like you said, great guy. Tony threatened Tony threatened to kick my ass. He was like, "Oh, you're a big boy." I said, "Yeah, that's what they tell me." And he's like, "You think you the shit, don't you?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "Yeah, you do. I tell you what, you help me up, and I go to my room, take some Geritol, come back down here, and beat your ass all over the place."
Oh my gosh.
And it was just one of the funniest moments for me. Like you said, he's such a seems like a genuine person and very funny. So I love that you brought him up. Do you like singles wrestling versus tag team wrestling? Which one is better suited for you and why?
Put me in a tough spot. I'm gonna have to say both. I do have a tag team partner. His name is Corey Duke, and we've traveled a lot together. And he's been there for me. I've been there for him, and it's always fun to tag with him. We didn't see each other for weeks, and we finally caught up. We were at we were in Massachusetts together, and it was just so good, to be together for a little bit. But I started tag very very early in my career. And I think the issue with starting tag too early in your career is you don't find who exactly you are, because you're trying with a tag team, you're trying to match the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah,
say if The Rock and Mick Foley teamed up, like came in as a tag team, I don't think they would have had that Rock and Sock connection. Like, because they would have tried to complement each other if they're coming in together. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
But when The Rock found out who The Rock was and Mankind found out who Mankind was, it was easier to blend because they weren't trying to force themselves to fit in with each other. It was one person fitting in with another person easily because they bonded together over like certain stuff. So I think, and me and Corey started tagging again recently. So I think me taking a break from the tag and us, taking some time apart from the tag, we found out who we are, what we can do, instead of just like relying on a tag. Because that's what a tag team is. It's not a singles person. A tag is working together. That's smart tag team wrestling.
definitely. With um with at this point in your career, you're starting to know yourself. You're starting to get that place where you can easily go through the different pitfalls that could easily come with being a wrestler. With that being said, if I'm coming to you and I'm wanting some advice about getting into the business, starting, what would be your advice to me?
You gotta be ready to put 100% effort into some of this stuff. That means practice, going to the gym, studying film, listening to your coaches, listening to your vets, listening to everybody, going to shows, setting up ring, doing stuff like this, podcasts, work on the social media, because those will help you. That helped me. And I will say there are days, where it's tough to do everything. It's tough to do everything, but that's part of the grind. And I know we're going to be balancing jobs, life, all that stuff, but that's the mentality you got to come in with this. And the key word I will say in independent wrestling is the independent bit. You are in charge of yourself. You are going to take yourself wherever you want to go. It's not up to other people to bring you. Yes, like AEW will give you the contract, WWE will give you the contract, but it's up to you, and you have to be happy with no matter what happens at the end of your career. You said that you gave it the best that you could, and the best that you could may not be the best that this other person could, and that's okay. But as long as you are okay knowing that you gave it all you could have, then yeah, that's it.
I love that. Not that I am. I've never wrestled, so I always take when I talk to wrestlers very serious. And if they ask my opinion about something, I always try to give my honest opinion and be very truthful and helpful to them. One of the things I always tell them is your business among yourself. You have to put in the work. If you love this business, only you know where you want to be. Only you know how to get there. You can have the Rock be your manager and he does everything for you, but it's not gonna go well if you're not putting in the effort and the passion behind it. So I love to hear that I'm not the only one that thinks that way and sees the business as, like I said, you're a business among yourself. Your brand is worth something because the way you just your attitude, you're such a nice person. We had the conversation before we went live, and you know I want this. No disrespect, no this. And I think that shows not only are you aware of who you are, but where you want to go and that your name means something. And I love hearing that. I think there's too many young people out in the business that hadn't got that yet, hadn't got that mentality, hadn't heard that click. And I think some people it takes time. Some come in naturally. You work your shoot job, you wrestle life like you said, but you learn a way to balance it and to do what your passion has taken you, and that shows not only in the ring, not only in this interview, but in your life itself. And I I love hearing that and seeing that from you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Oh,
Appreciate that.
no problem. If I am a promoter and me and you're sitting in my office and I tell you I can get you any opponent that you desire, who would be your ultimate opponent and why?
Give me. I feel like I always change this answer,
But
man.
it's just like I said, like music. Some days you're like, oh, I just really want him this day. Next day, oh, I want this tag match. So I think it's cool because no one has a. I don't believe people have a set person.
You're so right, man. Get. I think I'm still gonna have to say Shingo Takage. I feel like I still have to say that.
Why? Tell me why you want.
When I tell you one of the best matches ever was Shingo Takage versus Tomohiro Ishii. One of the best matches ever. One and two. How can you like to repeat one and have it be just as good as two is like crazy. And I think it was just incredible. Hard hitting action. It shows the toughness of a wrestler. Like that's something I want to do.
Love it. What right now? Who is that opponent that every time you see them, you're like, okay, we okay, we got to go. Last time you got me, I got to give it to you this time, or vice versa. You just feel that vibe, like, I tore you up last time. I'm gonna have to do it again. That who is your um, stone cold to your Vince McMahon?
Jeremy LaCroix.
What
We've gone at it too many times.
what is it that makes y'all have that match?
We know each other too well, and we want to hurt each other more than last time.
Do you think having that type of rivalry against the person, do you think that brings that better part of yourself out that doesn't always come out? And what I mean by that is every time you see his name on the card, it's like, oh, yes. I've been that last time I got to give you that hit versus, okay, I'm ready to wrestle. Okay, I'm wrestling them. That person that just sparks you up.
Yeah, I would say yeah. I feel like you gotta have an edge when you're in the ring. If you don't have an edge in the ring, you're not ready to survive.
Love it. How how many championships have you won so far?
Just one. The AIWF tag team titles.
What was the first thing that went in your mind when the ref handed you the titles?
It only goes up from here. That's one down. Hopefully, 100 more to go.
What is your goal at this point in your career? What is the thing that you want to accomplish?
Right now, my career, or
Yes,
like
right now.
later on.
No, right now.
Right now, definitely right now is to get signed. MLW, AEW, TNA, WWE, whatever's gonna take me in. You know, um, I want it. I want it.
Do you, well, and I kind of already know the answer, but I'm asking anyway. Do you want to go out west to different promotions to learn that style of wrestling and get to perform in front of that audience?
Is the West Coast promoter on watch this show?
Look, I've been surprised. You never know who's watching my shows. I've been shocked.
West Coast Pro. I want in, please. That's a pretty please. That sounded very great of me, but like I will message you as professional as possible.
I love it.
Mhm.
There you go. You're back.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. Man, go ahead and say that one more time because I'm definitely going to clip that.
Yeah, West Coast Pro. I would love to wrestle for West Coast Pro. That would be the one I want to go to.
So we've talked about your goals now and everything. What not to take it down, but what is one of the things, if any, that you've had that you realize, oh, this is kind of a downer, and had to reach inside yourself to push yourself to continue going down this road as far as being a wrestler?
the long days. There's some Fridays, I wake up, I go to work, and I'm a fitness trainer, so my first class is like 5 a.m. So I'm waking up at 4, and maybe I wrestled the night before, so I didn't get home till 2. So I got that. I train till 1 o'clock. I leave, and I might have to drive 3, 5 hours somewhere else, and then drive 3, 5 hours back. I think it's that stuff, you know. But you 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 learn about yourself. You learn how to enjoy the ride. You learn how to make it fun.
Would you say that? Well, no. Let me ask it this way: with being a wrestler, and a lot of
Hmm.
people, a lot of fans, we don't think about certain aspects of wrestling, and you've mentioned several times the mental grind and the mental challenge for you being a wrestler. Would you say that the mental part of being a wrestler is almost as important as the training, the look, and your move sets of being a wrestler?
I literally thought about wrestling probably the entire day today. Like I feel like my entire day is surrounded by wrestling. Like Monday through Sunday is like, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? Can I do that? So my other job today is client based. So I only work if people are booked. So it kept getting booked, kept getting booked, kept getting booked. I was planning on going to the gym at like 11 o'clock today. It is 6:37. I still have not gone to the gym yet because work just got really, really busy. And I'm gonna go after this. Don't rush, no rush. I get to sleep in tomorrow. So, but yeah, and then it's kind of like w- what do I want to do in training? What do I think about this? What do you think about that? I was literally took like an hour out of my day today to go reach out to promotions, to go reach out to people, to post something. It's always something. It's always on you. Especially when you're an independent wrestler and you have the chance of wrestling 5 days a week, Thursday through Monday, depending where you live. Um, and then you have training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever. It's a lot. So it's always on your mind, and some days it's hard to hide, some days it's easy to hide. But yeah, that mental aspect you is very, very tough.
Love it. So, with let's go to the study and tape aspects.
Hmm.
Who is the who is the man or woman or tag team or whoever? Who do you like? Okay, I got to watch their footage. They helped me with this part of my game. Who is
Hmm.
that one constant for you? And
So I get asked this question a lot, and to be honest, I do film a different way because there's so much out there. I've watched everyone from like Fit Finley, Dean Malenko, to hell, even the Boogeyman, just to see like get a different aspect of something. Like I have a giant Spotify playlist of wrestling music, and usually I just hit play and shuffle, and whoever comes on, that's who I'm gonna watch, for whatever reason, because you never know what's gonna come on. But if I had to say there were a few people who I was like they helped me. Not Stone Cold Austin. I'm talking stunning Steve Austin back in WCW.
hell yeah, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about because that's my favorite version of Austin. I, people look at me weird, but I'm like, he wrestled more. You could see the more um, cerebral Austin.
I think that just helps prove his legacy as just one of the best. Because again, you saw him as a tag wrestler. We saw him tag in WWF, but like the way he tagged in WCW was so great and stuff like that. And again, like I'm doing tag team, I'm doing all this, but watching how Austin uses the ring to his advantage, how he knows his awareness and his surroundings and stuff like that. When you watch him circle, you can see him feeling the ropes. He wants to know the distance he is from the ropes, like how much space does he have. Um and that's a fighter. That's a fighter. He's checking his surroundings. That's an animal. That like he's like where's he escape? Where's this? All that stuff. Him and Shawn Michaels, but not like 2000 There's no disrespect to 2000 Shawn Michaels. I like watching 90s wrestling, actually. I feel that's where I've really learned most of my stuff.
That's cool. And that's the thing. When you when you find what appeals to you and what is a good thing for you, that always, I think it brings you into a whole different realm of being comfortable. And being comfortable while you're wrestling, to me, is probably it's tied for number one thing being a wrestler. You can tell when a wrestler is not comfortable and just going through the motions. When they're comfortable, you, at least I can tell, okay, he's into it, versus to, okay, he's not really, he may be younger or whatever. And I think that plays a big part in how well a match goes, especially with your opponent. If you and like your rival, when y'all know each other, it's like, hell yeah, we can just let it go. Versus, oh, I don't know him. Damn, my mind's on my job, or I talked to my parents, something going on. My mind is not fully there. What do you do in cases like that to try to help you focus on the task at hand?
I have a goal, and goals are just dreams without deadlines. So, you know, you want to do that thing, but you keep postponing the deadline. Your deadline may never happen. So, I have a goal, and I can't give up on that goal. I made it this far, and it's too late to like go back.
Let me say, for such, well, let me ask you this. Total, how long have you been in the business for now?
2 years.
The thing is, for me, in our conversations, you sound like a 10-year vet, a 15-year vet. Your mind state is such a great thing. If I could give you some advice, my advice to you is continue doing what you're doing. You have you have it, I feel. And this is not me just trying to butter you up because you're on my show, but it's just your mindset, the way you look at things, the way we talk. I feel like you have it. And once the people get the chance to see that, it's going to explode. You're going to do some amazing things. And I want to tell you, thank you for it, because I already see you. You're going to be a top star somewhere. And I want to tell you thank you, not just for what you're doing, but for, you're going to leave the business better than you found it. And there are so many different athletes out here that don't have the chance that you're going to have. I want to give you a pre-thank. So when you're standing in Madison Square Garden and you're headlining and the crowd is going crazy, I want this thought to come to your mind. Hey, I remember doing that interview with Professor Burr. He told me I was going to be here. Didn't like him, but he told me that. So that's
Hmm.
what I want to go to your head.
I'll definitely remember that. I appreciate that. That's not a lot of people say stuff like that. That's really cool. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Um, the what's the fun thing about wrestling that you didn't know was? I asked you the down part. What's the fun thing that you just did not expect being a wrestler?
How fun it is sounds corny, but like just making other people, happy, And I've been doing that, but like this is something different, because it's something you can make people laugh, you can make people, like cheer for you any day, any point of the day. But when you wrestling, like that's really different, and there's just something like genuine about people like enjoying you wrestle. It's different. It's really different. It's different than MMA. It's different than soccer. It's really cool.
What? How do you feel when that little kid gets to tell you you're their favorite wrestler? What does that do for you?
It makes me feel so dang, like that just made my day. It will always make my day.
Last question. In 10 years, where will you be? Where would you like to be rather in 10 years?
Mm, I want a main event, a WrestleMania. Why has there not been a WrestleMania in the nation's capital? Why has there not been in our nation's cap a WrestleMania or anything like that?
That is a damn good question. And honestly, never thought about that. You could, man, the promotion behind having one in the nation capital. Yeah.
If there's anyone so DC isn't big on wrestling. Like there's no indies there because of like who I forgot their person, whoever runs the sports down there. We gotta bring wrestling to DC. Do want WrestleMania in DC? It would probably be at FedEx Field, which is in Maryland. I'll take that. But if we have to make it in DC, we got RFK right there. We got the National Stadium too. We got Nats Park. But somewhere DMV, DC needs to be WrestleMania. And if they have it, and if they hear it, because if they do it after Saudi because they heard me saying it, which I think they already picked the location. But if they do it before I'm signed, I'm sending an email. I'm sending a letter. I'm in Connecticut. I know where the headquarters is. I drive by it every weekend. I will mail them. I will say you cannot have WrestleMania in DC without me.
I love it. Love it. Man, I just really want to thank you once again for coming on, especially last minute. And this has been so much fun. It's been a great pleasure to have you. Um, you are welcome on my show anytime. And, maybe down the road we will get together and talk about where you are in your career. And hopefully, when we talk again, you can bring a title with you and be like, see, this, I told you, it's only the start. So again, thank you so very much for coming on. And again, thank you for being that spark plug in the business that keeps it going and keeps the the trying to think of the right word. You keep legends like Bruno San Martino, uh, Thunderbolt Patterson, um, Bobo Brazil, you the original Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers. You keep that energy going from back then to now and to the future. And I always get a kick out of meeting young men and women that I see and hear the love of the business come out of them. And I know we're in good hands and it's going to continue growing. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Guys, girl, myself, me and my rude self. Are there any shout outs that you would like to do before we go?
Shout out Corey Duke. Shout out Caleb Duke. Shout out Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. Yeah.
Thank you again so much. Guys, girls, this has been another great conversation around the campfire. As I had mentioned a lot in this interview, these young people are doing so much to keep the sport alive and keeping that energy that makes us wrestling fans. Go out and give support to them. I will always say this. Go support your local indie wrestling. You have such amazing talent out there that are doing their thing. And the atmosphere from an independent show to the big WWEs and AEW are so different. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. What I'm saying is it's different. And indie is so intimate and you get to experience things on a whole different level. So please make sure you go give support to your local indie promotion. With that being said, I want to thank you all for joining me with this great interview. My name is Professor Burr. This has been a Burr's Thought, and we will see you again around the campfire very, very soon. Y'all take care.